What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the German Bear Podcast. And today I want to talk about the Shrine Bowl of 2023 after the game finally happened and recap for you who definitely stood out and is available for the Bears in any round of the NFL Draft. And with that, guys, finally I'm back with making videos. I'm super excited to talk draft and just cover everything for you over the next couple of months. I just had to finish my exams right now on Friday, the moment I think the video is even going up. So I'm now totally focusing on the draft and finally being able to scout these great prospects. I'm so damn hyped up about this year's draft class. So many great players, and with the Shrine Bowl going on, or now officially over, and the Senior Bowl still coming up the game at least, I think it's one of the most exciting times of the year, and I can't wait and fully dig into many prospects and see what they all got. But like I said, today we want to talk about the Shrine Bowl. I got some players with me today that are really sticking out that could potentially be a target for the Bears. So we're probably not going to talk about safeties a lot on the channel this year because we obviously got Jaquan Brisker and obviously also Eddie Jackson. Same for the quarterback position. I'm not digging into quarterbacks that much this year, but we're obviously want to focus on the needs for the Chicago Bears coming into the 2023 season. And let's just start it off right away and talk about the first position group that I want to talk about today, which is the wide receivers. And the first wide receiver that I want to talk about today is a guy that could have easily been at the Senior Bowl as well. I think, as we probably all know, the Shrine Bowl is the bit of the lower type of all-star game for colleges, but it's still a very fully talent-loaded classer at Shrine, and so is Zay Flowers, wide receiver out of Boston College, 5'9", 182 pounds, and man, this guy really popped off for me. I did not have the chance to scout a lot of players fully yet, but Zay Flowers was definitely one of the first guys on the list that I checked, and Zay Flowers is absolutely phenomenal and just totally confirmed his greatness right there at the Senior Bowl. He has incredible quickness. It's just a big-time separator. Also, absolutely love his release package. Showed so many different things at Shrine Bowl on the tape as well. Absolutely phenomenal. And then also just doesn't waste steps on any route. Great hip drops to stop on a dime. I mean, good hands overall. He plays bigger than he is. He's only 5'9", but I truly believe that he can play outside in the NFL as well. His pro comparison to many people and to me as well is just totally fitting. Antonio Brown, yes, it's a big time comparison, but man, it really looks like it. He's a bit undersized, but he can play outside. He wins on almost every single route. He can go up and get it. He showed it at one beautiful route where he positioned his body well, had to go up and get it, made a beautiful catch right there, hauled it in, and great concentration. But really, like I said, just love how he positions his body for his minimal size, or just only being 5'9", and just plays bigger than he is, and also very scary with the ball in his hands. I mean, as soon as the ball comes to him, I mean, he's just absolutely destroying everybody near him. He jukes out guys, very agile, shifty runner. Absolutely love this about his game too, and just had some really good plays in practice at Shrine Bowl. He's definitely a guy. It's just like last year. I think it's going to be a trend that every year I'm falling in love with one Boston College prospect. Last year was Zion Johnson, interior offensive lineman, who was projected to go in the second round. Would have loved him for the Bears, but then sneaked into the first round to the LA Chargers. And now this year it seems to be Zay Flowers was projected to be a second round pick and now is moving up draft boards very quickly, and I don't think the Bears are really in a place where they could potentially pick him. I mean, the only way would be if they get 2 first-round picks from either the Texans or the Lions, but man, it would be really tough to get him, but he's one heck of a player and definitely showed out at the Shrine Bowl. Wide receiver 2 that I want to talk about today is A.T. Perry, out of Wake Forest, 6'3", 195 pounds, and man, this guy is also absolutely incredible. Could be a bit of a later round pick, and I will definitely do some separate videos on wide receivers and other position groupings as well later on in the draft process. But the guy is 6'3", big framed wide receiver, and he absolutely plays shifty and agile for his size, which is absolutely incredible to watch in practice. He made plays all week long. Love the body position positioning on one deep completion, especially where he just was able to on a go route have a great release, then restack towards his route again to move it up the field, and then just being able to lean in towards the receiver, watching the ball, hauling it in late, showing the hands late, and also separating at the catch point in the last second. So just leaning in, and then at the last second, giving a little push, just separating from the cornerback, and then just some great hands all week long as well. Some good routes on a beautiful out route as well, just some head nods and some good quick feet as well for a big bodied or long receiver too in that regard. Also a willing blocker, fights through contact when he's pressed as well. I really like this guy, and I would love the Bears to pick him up later in the draft. Maybe they will get 2 to 3 receivers even in the draft, and if A.T. Perry's one of them, I think he fits the Bears wide receiver core really well and could be a great addition for Justin Fields and the Bears offense moving forward. And then one more wide receiver that I want to talk about today is Demario Douglas. 5'7", 175 pounds, definitely an undersized light wide receiver out of Liberty. But man, this guy really showed out. Didn't have him on the radar at all, and just great release package, just like with Zay Flowers. Some good soft hands. I love the routes that he ran. Some really good body positioning for his size as well, and overall just balled out all week long. Big time burst as well. He can shift into the first gear and then just turns it up into the second gear. I mean, obviously the size will limit him in some kind of way, definitely in the league, but man, this guy is a really good separator. Ran some really good slant routes where he made the DB turn his hips completely, sold the fade really well. I mean, this guy is a really special player, got some speed to him, and obviously, like I said, his role probably will be limited, but you can definitely use him in any kind of offense as somewhat of that burner who takes the top of the defense, short yardage. He could be really good as well from the slot, just getting some secure yards for Justin Fields. So Demario Douglas, definitely a wide receiver to look out for. He was definitely a big-time riser at the Shrine Bowl. So with that being said, we now want to move on to the next position group, which will be the offensive line. And I want to keep the offensive line pretty short because the Senior Bowl recap is coming up as well, and there we will cover lots and lots of offensive line prospects. I think there was still some really good ones at the Shrine Bowl. First one I want to talk about, Chandler Zavala out of NC State. 6'3", 322 pounds, a guard that also dominated the whole week. And what I really loved about him in pass pro, he just really drops his butt and anchors people, really strong hands, and then in the run game, just a totally aggressive dude, some typical old lineman just like you wanted, just that Tevin Jenkins type of guy at guard, and just aggressive in the run game, fights for every yard, and just absolutely dominates people. And he could very well be a, let's say, day 2, maybe early day 4, even day 3, even Cody Whitehair replacement, right? I think Cody Whitehair definitely took some steps back this year. Pass pro didn't look good at all. Run game, he was okay, but man, Chandler Zavala could be either a guy that you plug in right away and he starts for you, or could be a long-term solution and just waits 1 to 2 years and develops behind Cody Whitehair. But he was really impressive at Shrine practice. And then 2 honorable mentions, Jackson Kirkland out of Washington, interior offensive lineman, looked pretty damn good as well. Had some good reps with some quick feed. And also Richard Stromberg out of Arkansas, the center, especially in the Shrine game. I think he looked pretty good. Made some good snaps, which is important, obviously, and then just really got out, had some good pass pro sets as well. So he was definitely a guy that I'm going to keep an eye on as well. So with that being said, we now want to move on and talk about the last grouping, which I all want to talk about together, the defense. And starting off the defense, I want to start off with a cornerback that absolutely caught my eye. I know it's not the most important aspect for the Bears in 2023, but I still think our cornerback room could use some improvements. Obviously, Kyler Gordon is a guy that switches up a lot, but that second outside / nickel corner, depending on where Kyler Gordon is about to line up next to Jalen Johnson, is still not the perfect fit. So I want to talk about Keitrell Clark out of Louisville, 5'10", 179 pounds, not the biggest cornerback, but he plays very physical for his size. He reads the wide receiver's hips really well. Like man to man, he looked incredible in one-on-ones all week long. Amazing footwork, really quick feet, breaks fast, and then also big time ball skills as well. Had some nice breakups and interceptions. Such a very instinctive player right there, and just also versatile. He can easily play in the slot. He can play outside, and if you want some more versatility on defense, I think he's definitely a player that you want to look at later in the draft if he's still available. Plug him in, just put him at nickel wherever Kyler Gordon is not, and you have three pretty damn good cornerbacks in there that can play well, and then you can send whoever you're going to pick up in free agency or the draft, your rushers in there to hunt, and you can feel pretty safe about it. So he's definitely a big time prospect that made his stock rise at the Shrine Bowl this week. As for the edge rushers, I think the two most outstanding ones were definitely B.J. Thompson out of Stephen F. Austin, very small college, 6'5", 238 pounds, but he's a big-time riser, just a long, special athlete. I think he's on Bruce Feldman's freak list with just all the incredible athletes in the draft. He's expected to run a 4.4, even 4.3 as his 40 time, which is absolutely insane at 6'5", 238. I mean, there was some competition concerns with him, obviously, but he definitely blew them away with a big-time competition upgrade at the Shrine Bowl, and he was just absolutely incredible for all the practices. Has some good bend to him. His first step is ridiculously fast. I mean, absolutely incredible. He might still be raw as a rusher, though, so he mainly wins with his speed right now, and he definitely needs to add a bit more mass to his body, too. But, I mean, overall, this guy has huge potential, had a great rep with a spin move as well. So he already showed that he can adjust to it, to the coaching, already showed some more rushing moves, but obviously you want to add to that. But, I mean, right now, he could be definitely a guy that you plug in on third downs, potentially, if your other guys need some time off the field, and just plug him in, and he can definitely terrorize a quarterback, which is simply being faster than anybody else on the field. So he's definitely a big-time guy that I'm looking at. He also had 2 sacks in the Shrine Bowl game. And then we look at Jose Ramirez as the other guy, 6'1", 249 pounds out of Eastern Michigan, Defensive Player of the Year in the MAC, and overall just, once again, good speed rusher as well, but definitely more polished than B.J. Thompson. He had a great rep in game where he just dipped and ripped around the offensive tackle and forced a fumble even, so really good rep there. Overall, also good hands, violent hands. Also one rep in practice where he put up a big-time swim move around a tackle, so he's definitely a big-time underrated edge rusher as well, who could go at day 2, I think, easily. And this guy just, once again, also very fast and special athlete, big-time underrated player as well. And, I mean, the Shrine Bowl definitely, I mean, overall, this draft class delivers so many big-time edge rushers, which is perfect for the Bears because we need it desperately. We need edge rushers. We need pass rush. We need defensive lineman help. We need run stuffers. So, 2 definitely interesting guys as well. And speaking of run stuffers, I now want to talk about 2 more players, defensive linemen, first of them being Keandre Coburn and then Moro Ojomo, 2 Texas Longhorns defensive linemen. Both have really good qualities. Coburn, 6'1", 344 pounds, so really, really big and heavy player there. But what he really does well is fast first step. Love how he comes out of his stance for a big-time guy. And then can take over 2 linemen at minimum, plays the gaps well, and just a really good run defender overall. Now, pass rushing-wise, you probably won't get too much out of it, but let's just imagine you get Jalen Carter in round 1, right? You got your perfect 3 technique to rush the passer there, and then next to him you get Keandre Coburn, who's just an absolute monster who can take over gaps, who can take over linemen, and just pave the way for all the linebackers. And it's just a really good run stuffer next to him. So you got a really great nose tackle in there as well for that 4-3 defensive Matt Eberflus. And then Moro Ojomo, the other Texas Longhorn, 6'2", 293 pounds, definitely a bit lighter. Also, very fast first step, violent hands. Love that about him. He had some very impressive reps during the practice week with some big time power, just driving back guards all the way towards the end of the field, it feels like, and just absolutely dominated all week long as well. I don't know where he exactly would line up. I mean, he could potentially be a three-tech option as well, which I don't necessarily love. I mean, he definitely upped production last year or this year in college in 2022 with 5 sacks. But overall, I think he's a really solid run defender in there as well. So two great options, and I would love either one having on the defensive line with the Chicago Bears. Some two talented guys at Shrine Bowl that definitely help their stock with very strong practices back to back to back, and also good performances in the game, even though Coburn didn't appear on it. And overall, I think that Shrine Bowl class was really excellent. I didn't talk about every single prospect because I didn't get into a lot of prospects already. Still have to watch a lot of tape, but overall, really impressive stuff there at Shrine Bowl. Some good talent that I could definitely see the Chicago Bears pursuing in the future. Love the wide receivers that I just talked about. This edge class is absolutely phenomenal, and the Bears could definitely, like I said, use some help and definitely could find some players there as well. And then for the D-line, I mean, you got some talents there too. And overall, I'm just so excited, like I said, to get into the draft process a bit deeper. I mean, overall, I will definitely talk about the Senior Bowl as well in the next upcoming days as soon as the game has been played. I mean, there was incredible talent as well, some big time players. The wide receivers are incredible too, but more in the next upcoming episode. And also, you can expect the mock draft 1.0 in the near future as well. So, with that being said, that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what you think of the performances of those players at the Shrine Bowl. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. Check out Instagram and Twitter if you want to as well. And as always, guys, bear down.